Hey, this is Luke Charlton here, and welcome back to the 15-Minute Client Podcast. Very excited to have you here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. I'm sitting here having a coffee. I've just been in the gym putting together a new piece of equipment, and that's relevant to today's story. Actually, I was thinking about this yesterday when I was recording that podcast about my Mind Valley story, about how they reached out. If you haven't listened to that in the previous episode, go listen to that, because it's a good episode on the only 3 ways to grow your business. But in today's episode, I want to talk to you about one of the easiest ways to grow your business, which is way number 3 that I spoke about in the previous episode, which is getting your customers to buy something else, basically. Okay. And the reason I wanted to record this is because, as I said, I was putting together a new bit of gym equipment. You can see, like, I'm in my dirty, like, gym attire right now. It's pretty gross. Got chalk and stuff all over me. So I was putting it together this morning, and I was thinking about how much I've actually spent with Rogue, the company. They're like a fit and gym equipment type company. I probably spent about almost $20,000 Australian. So I spent a good chunk of that during the pandemic because all the gyms shut down. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy a gym and just going to work out at home. It saves me probably about an hour per day from travel and stuff. Anyway, and then last week I bought another new piece of gym equipment, this Rhino squat rack, which is basically like a belt squat rack. So instead of putting weight on your shoulders, you put this belt around your waist, and it just helps if you've got back issues, which I do. Anyway, that was $4,000. So it was not a small amount of money, quite a big investment actually. And it's actually something that I've been thinking about buying for a very long time. And as I said, like, I've spent a lot of money with Rogue. I'd probably be in there. I mean, they have quite expensive equipment, but not everyone would be spending $20,000 with them, right? And so I was thinking, if I was Rogue, coming back to that, the third way to grow your business, which is getting your customers to buy more often. If I was Rogue, and they're probably, I don't know, $100 million company, $1 billion company now. But one of the things that I would do is I would grab a list of all of my top customers. So here are the customers that have spent the most amount of money. You just grab a big list and you organize it, most amount spent and how much they've spent recently, right? Because if they've spent like 50 grand, 25 years ago, that's probably less of a priority than someone who spent 50 grand last week, right? So this is what copywriters of in the old schools, this is how they used to organize a list. They would organize it by people who bought, and then people who bought by the amount of that they spent, and also how recently that transaction was. Anyway, so I'd get a list of all my customers, and I'd organize it by transaction size, recency, and frequency. And then what I would do is I would get on the phone with those people and just call them and find out, like, where it is that you can help, right? So this is one of the things that I've never, let me take a couple steps back. I've never heard from Rogue. Like, as I've spent a lot of money with them, I've literally never had one personalized email from them saying, "Hey Luke, how are you going? Like, what are your goals? Like, how else can we help you?" Because if they did, I probably would have bought that Rhino squat rack maybe a couple of years ago. I've been thinking about buying it for a very long time. But yeah, I've never really heard from them. They haven't really treated me differently than I just get their regular emails, regular promo emails, no thank you letters, nothing like that. And I think there's a missed opportunity for them to grow their business by having actual salespeople, and this is where probably e-commerce stores fall flat, is they don't hire they don't see their business as like a service-based business. They just see it as a product-based business. And so they don't hire sales staff to call their customers in the first instance, and see what else that they can sell them. And this is actually, what I just described is actually how I helped Grace Lever launch her mastermind. So I wrote the sales letter for the launch, and what we did is because she's 8-figure business, I said, look, you've got a lot of customers, right? So let's grab a list of all of your customers and look at who of the women that follow you, the customers who have spent the most. And so what we did is we sent the sales letter out to those women. I think it was the top maybe 200 or so. Like, we sent physical, the sales letter as a physical mail in, like a gift box and everything, inviting them to the mastermind. And that's how we got our first 40 people in Grace's mastermind, by doing exactly what I just said that someone like Rogue should do. And coming back to, again, yesterday's discussion on Mindvalley, this is something I didn't discuss with them, but it's something that I would do if I was in their shoes as well. Like, they've got literally, it's $100 million plus business, I think it is. And they've got, probably hundreds and hundreds of thousands of customers at this stage. So imagine getting your customer list, organizing it by, as I said, transaction size, how recently they bought and how frequently they've bought, and then go and sell them what yesterday I was talking about, their certification program. That's why they were looking at hiring me to help them scale. And they've got a sales team. So literally just calling up their top customers and inviting them to their, to their certification program, or inviting them to, a bigger kind of 12-month mastermind program. So that's again, low-hanging fruit. So as I said before, like the third way and the easiest way to grow your business is just to get your customers or clients to buy something else, because you've already got that relationship with them. Now, the way that I approach this is I don't think about what else I can sell them. And I don't even think about how can I add value? The way that I approach this is what problems do they have that I can solve? That's how I quote unquote add value, or that's how I sell something else to my existing customers. Like, okay, what else do they need? What are they struggling with at the moment? So for example, with Mindvalley, they wanted help growing their certification program. So they've got a fitness one, they've got a hypnotherapy one, they've got a life coaching one, they've got a business coaching one, and they've got a hollow body one. I'm not sure what that is yet. I haven't really dived into that program. So anyway, they have the certification program, but they don't have anything at the end of that program. They don't really have a back end program to help them. So the way that I would approach that is we need to sell them something else at the end of the 12-week certification. What is that? Well, the way that you approach that is you go, okay, well, what do they need help with now that they're certified? Well, obviously there's going to be a big chunk of those people that want to turn this certification into a successful coaching business. So we need to sell them a marketing and sales program to support them to launch and scale their business. So again, if you want to know how to come up with a great offer to sell your existing clients or customers, you just ask what else are they struggling with? What do they need? What do they need after my current program? What problems will they experience once they've completed my program? And sometimes, for example, let's say you help couples with infidelity, right? So one of them has cheated, and so you help kind of reconnect the marriage, and they've kind of come back together. Well, what's next for them? Maybe they don't necessarily have a specific big problem, but maybe it's more of a positive focus. It's okay, now that you guys are reconnected, let's turn this into the most amazing relationship. Let's take this relationship to the next level. So it's more of it doesn't always have to be a negative focus of what's a painful problem. That's usually what you will solve in the first instance. Once they've got past that problem, maybe you focus on more of a positive outcome versus an actual specific problem, if that makes sense. So that's for me, I will generally, because I'm in business, there will be other business problems that I can pick out and solve, for my clients. But for some coaches, listeners, they won't always have another problem. It'll be more of a positive focus. So a good example of that is, so I have a client right now. She helps women who have cancer. So she helps kind of heal their cancer, and it's a 12-week program. And so once they've gone, or maybe it's 20 week. Anyway, once they've gone through that and they've healed the cancer, well, now the problem's gone, right? So what does she sell next? Well, next she's going to sell her 12-month, because you healed from cancer, but let's take your health to the next level. Let's make you feel amazing. Let's go to the next level. So it's more of a positive, taking your health and fitness to the next level in a 12-month program after that, because there's not really a specific problem to solve after they've healed their cancer, if that makes sense. So just to be aware that, you're not always kind of solving a problem. It might be more of a outcome that you're selling, a positive focused outcome that you're selling after. But as I said, if you're listening to this podcast for any length of time, the first program that you should sell them is always solving a big painful problem, your high ticket problem. I've said that many, many times before. But then, as I said, this episode is about what do you sell them next? That's what that bit of advice was speaking to. Okay. So with that being said, if you need help scaling your coaching business. We can help you book appointments for you, or we can work with you one-on-one doing consulting to help. Again, same system, whether it's done for you or done with you. Either way, it's not a group program. It's a one-on-one program with the consulting, and then it's done for you with the agency side of things. So if you're interested to know how we can help you grow your business, help you book more quality appointments in your calendar, just go to apply.lukechatham.com, apply.lukechatham.com, and we'll just have a quick chat in the first instance just to see if we can help. And if we can, then we'll invite you to another call where we'll map out a plan to help you grow your business, and then you can decide whether that plan is for you or not from there. Okay, so with that being said, just go to apply.lukechatham.com